Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. And a very good evening to all of you. It's good to be here today. And indeed, I feel very honored to speak at the Youth Economic Forum this year. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the organizing committee, who I'm sure have worked very hard to provide this platform for us and to ensure that we are all able to take part in this year's forum. My greatest appreciation also goes out to the participants whose presence here denotes their strong belief towards knowledge, learning, and sharing. In these trying times, discourse and exchange of opinions are very important, especially in assisting us in overcoming issues such as the COVID-19 pandemic that we are all facing together today. Forums like this play an important role in shaping and coming up with solutions to such problems. As a Minister of Youth and Sports, it is so gratifying for me to see so many young people at the forefront discussing important issues, so actively involved and passionate in expressing their views, voicing their concerns, and contributing their ideas. It shows that the youth are ready to take charge of the future. That is your future. I've been told that the participants of YEF come from various different countries, especially from the ASEAN region. Although we come from different countries and have different cultures, now more than ever, we are finally able to embrace the similarities that we all share. One of the things that this pandemic has taught us is that in order to overcome an issue, one cannot go at it alone. It requires teamwork and understanding that we are all in this together. COVID-19 will not be the last global issue that the human race will face. One day, you will be leading your respective countries or even the world. You will be leading the charge and making the decisions on how to overcome the problems of your future. And understanding this, it is why it is important for someone like me and governments of the world to always remember that the decisions we make today will impact the generation of tomorrow. So we must properly prepare and equip the youth. A special report done by the World Economic Forum categorizes this pandemic as the true test of youth resilience and adaptability, especially in the ASEAN region. So with this in mind, there are two things that I'm going to share with you today. Firstly, the world is ever-changing and so does its problems. Secondly, how do we prepare ourselves and future-proof the youth? Traditionally, we have been embedded with the idea that the future only has one ideal scenario. But as we have learned this year, we can no longer live with the acceptance of such an idea anymore. It is important for us to be honest with ourselves in assessing the current as well as future realities. And the sad reality of today is young people are the most vulnerable group in an economic crisis. There was this interesting article that was published by the IMF, which I thought correctly summarized the current situation. It is a long shadow of an unlucky start for our youth. The 2021 World Economic Forum Global Risk Report came to the point that this is an age of lost opportunity for our youth. Today, we see our youth trapped with skills that are fast becoming redundant. We are seeing a lack of preparation from our youth for the jobs of tomorrow. Fiscal constraints are limiting options for our youth. All these are emerging and evolving challenges of the world, especially for our youth. Then we also have existing issues that have not been fully addressed. Poverty, for example, it has always existed. Over the past decades, the world as a whole has made constant progress in reducing poverty. Today, the global extreme poverty rate is at 9.2% as compared to 36% back in 1990. In the ASEAN region, from 47% in 1990, now it stands at 13.4%. Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Cambodia, and many other countries, we have all brought these numbers down. But with the decline of these numbers, we see a change in the nature of poverty. Offspring issues have surfaced. Decline in quality of life, income inequality, youth poverty, urban poverty, and many more. On the topic of urban poverty, for example, in Malaysia, as urbanization grew from 71% in 2010 to 76% today, we see issues such as income disparity emerging. The gap between urban rich and urban poor household continues to widen. Though there is positive increase in median monthly household income across B40, M40 and T20 income groups, the percentage increase is at least 3 times higher for the T20 as compared to the B40. And the current pandemic has only aggravated the effects of this further. But even worse, people are now dealing with a total loss of income. So how do we deal with these evolving problems? One of the things that the government of Malaysia did was to do the most logical thing. We consulted and listened to numerous academicians and experts from various fields. To tackle unemployment, we introduced a national apprenticeships scheme called Scheme Perantisan Nasional, because based on studies, we know that while waiting for an inevitable economic recovery, job experience opportunities is what is needed. And in order to maintain 2.7 million jobs to keep food on the table for the people, the Malaysian government instituted multiple initiatives, including the 2 billion ringgit Malaysia Penjana SME scheme, 340 million ringgit Malaysia in form of microcredit financing scheme, and a 13.5 billion wage subsidy program. To tackle skills trap, we introduced numerous reskilling and upskilling initiatives. For digital skills, the government recently introduced the My Digital Plan in order to increase digital literacy and create high-income jobs, and also to facilitate the future of work. In total, we are looking at 56 billion ringgit Malaysia plan to achieve this goal. All these initiatives are meant to lay the groundwork for our youth, and now the onus is on you to boldly venture on these opportunities. So this brings me to my second point. How do we future-proof the youth? Firstly, we need to look and solve the current problem. We see forecasts that the global economy will eventually rebound this year. The World Bank estimates a 4% growth in global GDP for 2021, while Bank Negara has reported Malaysia's economy will recover and we will eventually return to normalcy. In order for the economy to rebound, it is dependent on a successful rollout of the national vaccination program. As it stands, we have successfully managed to secure enough doses, which will enable us to cover the entire population, and by February 2022, the government targets to vaccinate 80% of the entire population. Only then will we reach the level of herd immunity. However, even with government-planned vaccination program, this does not necessarily mean that we will be out of this pandemic immediately. As I said earlier, continuous evolving issues will always surface. So how do we keep up? There is no one answer to this question. But one thing for sure, a flexible instead of a restrictive and rigid policy making is needed. The much more practical strategy is to increase the number of outcomes we want to achieve. Instead of only aiming to end the pandemic at all costs, we work equally toward addressing economic and social disruptions. We need to start normalizing foresightful thinking. One way of doing this is to start using the data around us. We now live in an age where new data emerges daily. With careful monitoring and assessment of this evolving data, it will facilitate in converting challenges into opportunities. Data-driven decision-making will be vital, be it at policy or business level or even to our individual daily lives. If you look at the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs Report 2020, data analytics is one of the highest ranking emerging skills. So we need to start emphasizing on the importance of forecasting exercise that leverages on data, be it structured or unstructured data. In the past, forecasting has always been challenging due to the unavailability of the data. But this has changed. There's now big data or an influx of data. As a society, we are now data rich, but we have not fully utilized on this. At the Ministry of Youth and Sports, understanding data on youth was vital for me to have a clearer picture of the situation faced by our youth. Having this data will enable us to make the right policy that will benefit the youth. Now, we are working with the Department of Statistics Malaysia, the Ministry of Finance and numerous other ministries to streamline all data relating to youth in order to utilize it. Eventually, when this data is streamlined, a comprehensive evaluation will be done. This will then assist and enable us to come up with a new youth development model, the model that which will complement the existing Malaysian youth policy, which will hopefully equip the youth with the skills of the future. And what are the skills that will be addressed in the new model? Proficiency with current technologies, to be well versed in the usage of data, equipped with analytical thinking and innovation skills. These are the skills that the youth must possess in order to future-proof yourself for the world of tomorrow. You need to be brave in embarking into emerging job roles that require skills of the future. You need to be part of the inevitable reskilling revolution. This pandemic has presented us with a golden opportunity to rebuild society as we know it. It has presented us with a blank canvas, and we can paint it however we want it to be. In the past, we have gone through many crises, and yet we have survived at every instance. Now, it is no different. With a little tweaking in our ways of doing things, I am confident that we shall overcome this current blip together. This forum and the various topics that will be discussed should be internalized within yourself. And I hope you will use this opportunity to invest in enriching your skills and thinking. I'm certain various information and data that has been shared in this year's forum will benefit all of you in the long run. I hope all of you will continue to engage as much as possible and use this opportunity to express your thoughts and opinion. My congratulations to you for taking part in this year's forum with such enthusiasm and spirit. Thank you once again for having me. I wish you all the best for the future to come. You are the future, and I thank you.